In today's video, I want to go over some significant PlayStation 5 updates with a new Sony patent that's showing network-connected PlayStation controller for cloud gaming, and more information on the idea of backwards compatibility. And now there are rumblings that the PS5 may natively play older PlayStation games, coupling what the console is about the past and the future line that we've been hearing a little bit. So I'll talk all about that, and also, all of you guys are still on the PlayStation 4. The PS5 is still a year out. So if you want to expand your PlayStation 4 library, there are some great deals available right now. GameFly has got a pre-owned sale right now, and Borderlands 3 is significantly discounted over on Amazon, the cheapest I've seen that game for thus far, and a great deal on that, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, let's talk all the PlayStation 5 information. Sony Interactive Entertainment has recently filed a patent for a new network-connected PlayStation controller for cloud gaming. Obviously, I know a lot of you guys are not big on cloud gaming, but you are foolish if you don't think that Sony and pretty much every other major publisher, console manufacturer, and their mother is trying to get into the cloud gaming market. We see Microsoft's getting into it, we see that Sony's getting into it, of course Google is going to be dropping Stadia soon. There have been so many other streaming ideas, and whatever the case may be, they definitely see streaming as the future, even though that PlayStation Now hasn't been received incredibly well, and they even added the option to download games directly to your PlayStation 4. Ultimately, I do see streaming being something that Sony sees as the wave of the future. Do I necessarily agree with that? Probably not, at least not in the near future. And when I say near future, I'm really talking 5 to 10 years, but who knows? Things are changing all the time, and you would think that Sony would have their finger on the pulse of consumers better than I would, and maybe they could project what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years better than I would. What I do know is that PlayStation Now and streaming in general is going to be a big component of Sony and PlayStation going into the future. And of course, Sony recently lowered the pricing for PlayStation Now, and this newly filed patent hints that the company is keen on improving its cloud gaming services. Just like Google Stadia's controller, Sony's patent shows a controller that connects with the internet to reduce latency. According to Sony, input latency can be reduced by allowing the controller to send inputs directly over the network to the cloud gaming server, bypassing the client device. The patent description reads as follows: a controller device for user interactivity with a server of a cloud gaming system is provided, including the following: at least one input device that generates inputs for the server, wherein the controller device communicates directly to an access device for connection to a network that connects the controller device to the server without connecting to a client device, wherein the server receives and processes the inputs to render gameplay video that is transmitted over the network for rendering to a display device that is local to the controller device. So that's a lot of jargon that some of you guys are not going to understand. Essentially, it's trying to reduce input latency, which is so important for streaming games. That is literally the major drawback to cloud gaming. I've noticed that with PlayStation Now, and you're talking about this coming from someone that does have respectable internet connection, much better than the majority of people have. And even then, yes, is streaming feasible? Yes. Does it work okay? Yes. Are the games playable? Absolutely, but it's not as good as playing a game natively, let's say downloaded or on disc, and that's for somebody that does have decent internet connection. That's for somebody that is using a wired connection. What if you're using wireless connection? What if you don't have the best internet in the world? Well, then it's going to be a much more difficult experience for you, and a far less compelling experience. So for them to iron out all of these issues and making streaming and PlayStation Now accessible to more people, that is absolutely imperative. Now, the good thing about PS Now is for your $9.99 a month or $60 a year, not only can you stream all of those games, you got PS4 games, PS3 games, PS2 games, but it also offers the ability to, again, download those PS4 games directly to your PS4 and play them that way. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds with that subscription service. I don't really know how much money they're making on PlayStation Now right now, just because you have to consider the fact that there's a lot of costs with actually offering the streaming services, and then you've got these licensing agreements, and then you're letting all of the players download the games as well. That is a sizable ask, and it begs the same question to Xbox Game Pass. It's $9.99 a month, and you're offering all of these high-quality titles. I really don't know what the profitability on these services is right now. However, this is obviously a long-term play into the future, and ultimately, they do want to see significant profits on it in the future, but right now they might take an upfront loss, or maybe they're not making the biggest profit in the world. Whatever the case may be, this is really a play for long into the future. Alright, so enough about cloud gaming. One of the biggest imperatives about the PlayStation 5 has been the idea of backwards compatibility, and it was noted that PlayStation 5 may natively play older PlayStation PlayStation games, the console is about the past and the future. As reported by Mystic, Twitter user PS Erebus recently tweeted that players shouldn't sell their PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 games in preparation of the PlayStation 5 release, hinting that something may be brewing regarding backwards compatibility. PS Erebus has been proved to be extremely reliable, as he has revealed PlayStation information such as The Last of Us Part 2 release date before the official announcement, and he's usually in line with what he's saying. Now, backwards compatibility, I think, is a huge element to the PlayStation 5. I don't know necessarily how impactful it is going to be to gamers if it has full-on backwards compatibility, even if it's not something that everybody is going to take advantage of. You know, how many people do have PS1 and PS2 discs lying around? However, it's a little bit more important than that, because yes, offering those features, offering backwards compatibility from a full sense, and offering the ability to play those legacy titles is really cool. However, you also have to factor in that you get a lot of positive PR by doing this. That's just going to be something that circulates around the gaming community, and everybody's going to be talking about it, and everybody's going to be like, that is awesome that the PlayStation 5 can go back and play games that are 20 years old. And positive PR parlaying into the release of a platform and a new console is so important. I point to the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 really whooped the Xbox One initially because of that whole used game fiasco. Yes, you can point towards other things like the price and the game lineup on the PlayStation 4. However, the game lineup on the PS4 wasn't even that much better than the Xbox One initially. Things obviously changed once it hit like 2015, 2016, and then yeah, the PS4 had without a doubt the better game library, but initially the game libraries were comparable. The PS4 was just cheaper. There was a lot more positive PR surrounding it, even though that the Xbox One was playing used games and they went back on that. The damage was done, and it was up to Phil Spencer to do a lot of damage control, and that really shaped the entire generation. And even 6 years after the launch of the Xbox One, the X1 is still struggling a little bit, so you can get the idea of why positive PR is so important leading into the release of a console. Whatever the case may be, am I gonna lose sleep over the fact that the PlayStation 5 might not play PS2 or PS3 games natively, or PS1 games? No, but I do think it would be a great feature, and I would love to play old PS1 games, old PS2 games, old PS3 games. I am one of those people that do have PS3 discs, PS2 discs, and PS1 discs, and it might open up people to wanting to go out and buy PS1 games, go and buy PS2 games or PS3 games, or at the very least you can offer a lot of these games through digital download, and you can download them that way. Whatever the case may be, that is some exciting information. And lastly, outside of all the PS5 talks, all of you guys are still playing games on your PS4, so I do want to highlight some great game deals available right now. GameFly has got a pre-purchase blowout sale right now, which has some really good deals. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is down to just $17.99, which is ridiculous. That is the lowest price I've seen on that. By the way, free shipping on these titles as well, so that's really nice. Rage 2 is down to $17.99. I've been vocal in the fact of saying that Rage 2 isn't really my cup of tea, in that it wasn't my favorite game of the year. If you're spending, you know, south of $30 for it, it's not a bad buy. And at $17.99, I would even say it's a pretty decent buy if, you know, you want a quality first-person shooter that is open world. Kingdom Hearts 3 down to $17.99. That's a really good deal on that. Anthem is down to a measly $8.99. That is pretty insane. Darksiders 3 is down to $9.99. That's very good. However, that game was just a PlayStation Plus freebie, so I don't know what the interest level in that is going to be. And I do see God Eater 3 down to $17.99 as well, so that's a very good buy. God Eater 3 for $17.99, given that it's still a relatively recent release, I would say is definitely worth the money, and again, free shipping on that as well, so definitely give that a look. And also, how about this? Over on Amazon, Borderlands 3 is down to just $33.75, without a doubt the cheapest I've seen Borderlands 3 for, and even a game that was promoted this heavily just a month after release, as major of a game as Borderlands 3 was, pretty much down to 50% of its initial cost, a little bit over 50%, but still, $33 for Borderlands 3 is absolutely ridiculous. The game was quite good. It's more Borderlands. It doesn't reinvent the wheel in any way, but I really don't think it needed to. What it does offer is quite good, and if you want more of that shooting, looting goodness, Borderlands 3 definitely has that in spades, so $33 and change for that is quite good. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, a new Sony patent is showing a network-connected PlayStation controller that should improve input latency for cloud gaming. It seems like they are very much still committed to cloud gaming heading into the future, and I could understand why. They really think that this is going to be the wave of the future, and this this is going to be an integral component to gaming in the future, then I can see why they are going with this. The PlayStation 5 may natively play older PlayStation games, including PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. If PS Erebus is to be believed, do not trade or sell your OG PlayStation titles. Also, some great PS4 game deals with the GameFly sale and Borderlands 3 being significantly discounted. Great deal on that. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.